Hi, we're going to be having a look at multiplying and dividing fractions. So multiplying fractions is probably one of the easiest fraction questions you're likely to get when you have a fraction arithmetic question. So all we do when we're multiplying fractions is we multiply our numerators and then we multiply our denominators. So for this question here, we will be doing 2 multiplied by 3 is my numerator, which would give me 6, and 5 multiplied by 6 would be my denominator, which would be 30. So my answer is 6/30. Now, if you're feeling like you want to challenge yourself, you can then take your answer and you can simplify your answer and put it into the most simple form. Remember, to do that, we need to think, what times table will we find 6 and 30 in? So in this example, we will find 6 and 30 both in the 6 times table. So we could say, how many 6's are there in 6? There is 1. And how many 6's are there in 30? There are 5. So we could simplify that to 1/5. But year 5 at the moment, what I'm looking at is for you to get to this stage and remember to multiply your numerators and your denominators. And then the simplifying is your challenge if you want to do that. So let's do one more together for multiplying. We could have 4/6 multiplied by 3/8. So remember, we multiply our numerators. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12, and 6 multiplied by 8 is 48. So we get 12/48. Now, is there a times table where we would find 12 and 48? They would both be in the 12 times table. So how many 12's are there in 12? There is 1. And how many 12's are there in 48? There are 4. So we would end up with 1/4. But this stage is where we're looking to get, and this is the challenge, remember. So that's multiplying fractions, nice and straightforward. Now, dividing fractions is very similar, very straightforward. And if we had something like 3/4 divided by 2/3, we have another little saying that we need to remember to help us divide fractions. And that saying is keep me, change me, and turn me over. And what we do is we take our first part of the problem, our 3/4, and we keep that the same. So it keeps 3/4. Now then we change the next part of the problem and we change it to the opposite. So the opposite of division is multiplication. So we turn it that. And then we take the last part of our problem and we turn it over. So we take our 2/3 and we turn it over to become 3/2. Now, we've got a multiplying problem now. And you'll know from up here, you now know how to do multiplying problems. So when we have a multiplying fraction question, we multiply the numerator and we multiply the denominator. So we have 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. And 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. Okay, so we've ended up with 9/8. And for those of you that have been working hard and looking at your converting last week, you'll remember that 9/8 is an improper fraction or a top-heavy fraction. So we can change that into a mixed number by doing how many 8's will fit into 9. We have 1 whole 8 and we had 1/8 left over. Okay, so what we need to remember for dividing are my rules: keep me, change me, okay, and turn me over. Okay, we'll do one more division as an example to remember. So if we had 4/5 and we're going to divide that by 3/6. Okay, so we're going to keep me, change me, turn me over. We're going to keep the first fraction. We're going to change the division into a multiplication, and we're going to turn over the second fraction. Okay, now we have a fraction multiplication, so we can multiply out the numerator. 4 multiplied by 6 is 24, and then we can multiply out the denominators. 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. We have an improper fraction, so we can ask ourselves, how many 15's can I fit into 24? 1 whole 1. And how many were left over? 9/15. Okay, and if I wanted to super challenge myself then, I'm going to keep my whole one as it is. Can I simplify this part of the fraction? Is there a times table that has 9 and 15 in it? They're both in the 3 times table. So how many 3's will fit into 9? 3. And how many 3's will fit into 15? 5. So in its simplest form, it would be 1 3/5. But if we're getting this far, year 5, okay, that's fantastic. And this are your challenge steps. Okay, that is multiplying and dividing fractions.